Hey guys, welcome to this week's edition of the Q&A. We're changing it up just a little bit. We've decided to put the Q&As as a separate episode once a week, so it gives a little more content during the week, and you can listen to me rant. And I can make them a little bit longer because I like to talk and hear myself talk, and I like to hear others talk about me, and then I like to talk about myself some more, and then I like to hear everybody else talk about how I was talking about myself, and then we all get really confused about who's really doing the talking. Huh? Thanks for watching. We're going to jump right into the Q&A, and a couple of these questions are going to be a little long-winded, and that's why we decided to put it out as a separate episode. So with that being said, we're going to jump right in it. First question out of the box, and guys, once again, before I get into that, I want to talk about, we really appreciate all the new subscribers out there. We really appreciate everybody watching the show. For those of you who are new in the last 30 to 90 days, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And we get lots of emails now, more than I can possibly answer. I try to answer them. If you send your phone number, I like to, most of the time when I have a lot and we're not doing anything, I like to FaceTime or WhatsApp. I like to video call and surprise people. So if you send me an email, send me your WhatsApp number or your FaceTime number, email, or whatever, so I can FaceTime you, and you get lucky and get a video call from me, and I'll visit with you. And I enjoy visiting face to face than I do typing emails. I'm just not the best at returning emails. So with that being said, let's jump right in here to the question from Mr. Jao Martins, and he is from Portugal. Jao, thanks for watching the show from Portugal. It's probably summertime up there right now, where it's wintertime down here in New Zealand. I was wondering if you can tell me some tips of your own on how to make actual money. I know this sounds sort of weird, but I really wanted to sail around the world with my partner. Jao, thanks for the question. How to make money, and how do I teach my kids how to make money? That's one of the reasons we're doing this Q&A separate, because some of these questions are going to be long-winded, and it's going to take a little while to explain, and I can elaborate on some things and not drag it on. And if you're not interested, you can tune right out. But as far as making money goes, I've never been a strong believer in higher education. If you're going to be a doctor, if you're going to be a lawyer, an engineer, you're going to need an education. You're going to need to know the stuff, because people in those worlds like everything in a box. They like everything checked and you meet the right criteria. What we focus out here on the water, and what I focused on land with my children is, and me and Renee both, instead of teaching our children to get an education, I'm teaching my children how to make money. I'm teaching my children how to spot opportunity. I'm teaching them how to take advantage of opportunity, how to take risks, and how to put themselves out there. That's their whole life lesson is about seeing opportunity, taking advantage of that opportunity, and going after it. Where a lot of the people that we've been around on land and out here on the ocean, they focus strictly on education. The more education they can pound into their kids, the better off they think they're going to be when they go to get that job out there in the world. And they probably are right. When they get that regular job and they work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, that education is going to come in real handy for them in that type of a scenario. But I want my kids to have the freedom, and I don't know if this is going to work or not. I don't know if it's going to be successful. But I want my kids to, and I don't want this to sound arrogant. I don't want it to sound cocky. But I want my kids to be the boss. I want my kids to hire those kids that have those higher educations, to work for them and do the things that my kids don't want to do, so that my children and my grown kids can go out and play. They can go find freedom. They can go sail around the world. They can do the things they want to do. And there's nothing wrong, and I don't want that to sound like it's class, because it's not. It's just I'm teaching my children a different way that bucks the system. And anytime you buck the system, anytime you go against what is normal and accepted, people are going to say, well, that's arrogant, that's cocky, you shouldn't be like that. And it's really not. It's just doing things a different way. I want them to be able to spot opportunity. I want them to be able to see that. Now, getting back to making money, I saved my money. I worked hard. I did what in a previous video, I don't know what video episode it was, but I talk about money and sailing. Do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. And that's been my motto all my life. I never did really like what I did for a living back in the oil and gas business. I didn't like the people I worked for. I didn't like the people that I did projects for. I didn't like the job itself. It's dirty, it's hard, it's sweaty, it's out of town, traveling. You're working around a bunch of people who don't want to be there either. They're just there for the money. And it's not inducive to a joyful job. It's just hard work, and it pays well. And I did that. I served that prison sentence long enough to get enough money so I can have the freedom that I want to have today. And so I think that I can teach my children how to spot opportunity now. I think I can teach my children how to market themselves, how to brand themselves. And YouTube has created a big window for that. I mean, it's been Business 101 with Jack and Anna and Kate and Finn, of teaching them Business 101, showing them how to market, talking to people, going to boat shows, dealing with things, selling their brand, selling what they do. And that's been the bonus of YouTube. YouTube has a lot of negatives in our life, but the positive of the YouTube experience is that it's given my children a first-class Business 101 education that they wouldn't get no matter where they went to college. So that's my rant about education. I can go on, but and once again, I don't want to come across arrogant or cocky or anything like that. I just think differently when it comes to my children's education. I want them to make their own money. I want them to have their own success, and I don't want them to follow and stand in line behind everybody else doing the same old thing. I don't place value on that. Now, if they want to be a doctor, they're going to have to go to college. If they want to be an engineer, they're going to have to go to college. If all they want to do is make money, they need to understand what opportunity is and what risk is and put themselves out there to go after it. And that's what most parents won't teach their children, because they don't know that, because they've never been willing to put themselves out there to do that. And I know that's can be scary to people, and they're going to like, Keith, you don't know it all, you're arrogant, you're cocky. They're going to say those things about me for what I'm saying, but that's the way I believe. And it's the way I'm teaching my children, because it worked for me. And so a lot of people disagree with me on that, and I may be handicapping my children. I never had a college degree. I never did well in high school, never did well in grade school, barely passed. But I hope that answers part of your question. You can go back and watch that video about how I make money, or how I made money. We get that all the time. How do you afford to live out here on the water? We saved our money from the businesses I had back home in the States. We sold those businesses, and that's how we live out here on the water. Now, YouTube and this whole industry here, we're around YouTube and social media, it is producing some revenue for us these days. And, I won't lie to you about that. That's what it is. It is making some money for us, and our kids share in that profit, the money that comes from that, because they don't have an opportunity to have part-time jobs or do things that normal kids would do I say normal, to do things that kids would do on land. And so it's given them a great opportunity to understand Business 101. So with that being said, Giles, thanks for watching, and I hope that answers your question. The next question comes from Mr. Simon Riley. He said, I noticed you pointed out your printer on the tour. I'm guessing it is for immigration and forms between countries. Does it make life a whole lot easier in that respect, or is it more for schooling on board? Well, that is a great question, Simon. And the reality is you need a printer scanner on your boat for customs, for immigration, for making copies of boat papers, anything you might need, printing out invoices from boat vendors. A printer will make your life better on a boat. We have a laser printer with laser toner cartridges. We found the inkjet ones dry up out here. They don't last as long, and they're harder to find, whereas a laser printer seems to work better. It takes up a little more room, but we don't have as many problems with that. So thanks for watching, Simon. Next question is from Mr. Kenny McWilliams. I noticed that you no longer have insulation around the water heater tank. The new water heater tank didn't come with insulation around it when I put that in. The old ones did. I think this new one is a little bigger in diameter. And I think it's probably got insulation inside the stainless steel and around the steel or whatever is inside of the tank itself. So I don't know if it's better or good, but that's just what we got. On that note, talking about hot water heaters and being down in the deal, I got a lot of feedback from everybody thinking I was changing the oil filter and putting old oil into the old oil filter. That's not what I did at all. I didn't put the old oil. I did, however, and I've always done this with the boat because I have two more filters, primary filters, a 5 micron and a 3 micron. No, maybe it's a 2 micron. It's 2 micron and a 5 micron Raycor filters in line to all of my engines that filter out stuff, so that the primary fuel filter on the engine itself is really clean most of the time. I wouldn't do that on a piece of equipment or tractor out in the field or anything like that, but instead of getting a diesel can out and filling that fuel filter up, I've always just kind of dumped that. Now that does risk getting some contamination in there, and I may rethink that in the future. But once again, I didn't do that with oil. I would never do that with oil because you could get metal shavings, all that kind of stuff back into your engine. I wouldn't do that. But on the fuel, I think it's probably okay practice. Maybe not the best practice. If you're lazy like me, you don't want to climb in and get some diesel fuel out of a jerry can, that's what we did. So thanks for guys for checking on that one. That was a good call. Kenny, thanks for watching the show, and thanks for that question about the water heater. All right, next question up is Mr. Shane Brown from Southeast Texas. I just noticed Cat Zatara still has lifelines, while Mono Zatara was fitted with hard stainless. Was that an upgrade on the Mono worth the money, and will you be doing the same to the Cat? Well, that's a good question. The only reason we put those stainless steel tubes on the monohull was because we needed a hard surface to mount our kayak holders onto. And that's the only reason we did that. If we hadn't put those on, we would have kept the stainless steel lifelines. I would have probably changed those out to Dyneema or Amsteel, like I've done on this Cat. But no, you don't need the stainless steel tubes. It adds a lot of weight to the boat, and it's very expensive. Dyneema works really great, and I'd take all the metal off the boat that you can get off the boat. That's just more polishing for your kids or for yourself. So once again, great question. Thanks for watching the show. Hey guys, once again, we want to thank you for watching the show. If you like what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button. Share it with your friends and family on social media, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. And as always, I look forward to seeing you guys out there on the water.